Alrighty. Cool.
Okay. So we're
on my way, but it's just me.
Don't be reckless. Wait for backup.
There's no time.
They'll kill you.
They can try.
So we're starting off here with a familiar face, Gabriel Angelos. He's one of our elite heroes, and the
This place is already swarming with Eldar.
chapter master of the Blood Ravens.
I need to find their main portal before this planet is overwhelmed.
Gabriel's a really fun hero to play. He's an upfront melee brawler. He's really fun in part because he's really easy to pick up and play. He's got some fairly straightforward abilities like a hammer slam, a hammer spin, and another which we'll see in a second. But there's a lot of hidden depth there, actually. So he gets a hammer jump, which allows him to cross gaps like this. It'll also allow him to climb cliffs, do other things. And then he has a hammer spin that clears out people around him, but can also reflect projectiles, so send grenades and missiles back at the people who threw them if you time it right. So there's an element of skill that you discover the more you play with him. It makes him fun to play the first time and the 100th time.
For sure.
Okay, so it's getting a little hot for Gabriel here, so we'll bring in some help.
I love this scene so much. I know that people may have already seen it on our first gameplay at PC Gaming Show, but she's just, her entrance is just so epic.
Indeed it is. This is Lady Solaria, our Imperial Knight, the super unit for Space Marines. She's a walking powerhouse with Gatling guns for arms. What more could you ask for? Here she's going to do her barrage ability and take out these Eldar, which are foolishly ignoring her. Now, super units are typically late game units. For the purposes of this demo, we bring her in early.
Solaria. I expected to be bleeding at least.
I told you backup was
Someone asked, is she single?
What were you thinking?
You'll just have to play the campaign and find out.
There are too many troops coming from that portal.
So *War3 is really about
This is
armies.
Strike Cruiser Dauntless. We've landed troops to your position.
Can we use the Dauntless's guns to take out this portal?
We need eyes on it first. We'll have to fight our way there.
And big
Hard way it is
Whoa.
then.
and big armies means bringing back base building. So this is a Space Marine base that you can see, and this is where you produce what we call your line units. These are your traditional RTS units, like the Tactical Marines we're seeing, the Dreadnought that's about to come out. The elite heroes that you see with their icons on the left of the screen, so Gabriel and Solaria, you pick those ahead of the match. You pick 3 of them, and they sort of form the hardcore at the center of your army. But you have a full range of units to build on the field and deploy how you see fit. Okay, so I've got a sort of small strike force here, so I'm going to push forward into the Eldar.
So you got your Dreadnought coming up from behind.
Yeah, you can see the Dreadnought coming in, and I'm going to bring in some extra Tactical Marines. These ones armed with flamers. Now in this case I'm using Gabriel to soak up some fire, and my Tactical Marines and Solaria to lay down ranged fire. How you use the elites and the line units is really up to you, and there's a lot of strategic and tactical depth there. You can focus on your elites and just sort of blob your line units if you want. That's an easy way to get into it. More advanced players who've played *War1, for example, can do a lot more micro with those line units and use them more effectively. So use those flamer abilities that we saw with the Tactical Marines. You'll see at the bottom of the screen I've captured a resource point There's only one in this demo, but it's a return of the resource system from *1. Towards the top of the screen here, you'll see a cover point. And so for people who have played the previous Dawn of Wars, cover in *3 is a lot like garrisons were in *2. So it's a thing on the field that you send troops in, they capture it, it becomes safe, it provides protection, but it can be destroyed. The major difference is that you can also send in melee units to clear people out of it. And we'll see that a little later in the demo. Right now I'm using my drop pods to bring in some extra troops. Now drop pods are one of the center points of the Space Marines. While I can build line units from buildings back at my base, I can also build them in these drop pods and deliver them right into the front line.
And we're seeing that on the left there. Those
Yes.
3 drop pods can be preloaded with.
Absolutely. Yeah. Here, Solaria tried to take out some of these Eldar Wraithguard, but you'll see she actually didn't get them all. And that's a good example that even with a powerful unit, skill and timing is really important in this game. It's a strategy game, and those types of things are always going to be important in the moment-to-moment gameplay. So the Eldar are trying to take a cover point at the top, so I'm going to use my Assault Marines to jump up there and take it from them. That's really one of the really clear roles for melee units. Okay, my third elite, the Assault Terminators, is ready, and they're a melee unit as well. So I'm going to use them to take out this cover that's on the left side of the screen. I'm actually going to teleport them right in there, and they'll start taking out those Dark Reapers.
Nice. So on the left there, they just became available, and then you
Yes.
click, and then you can.
Then I can place them on the map. Exactly.
Nice. And right into cover, which is
In
where
this
they-
case, right into cover, yeah. So that way, I was able to kill the guys inside the cover, so I can take the cover for myself. Okay, so the Eldar are going to continue to put up a fight, obviously, and I'm going to use one of Solaria's other abilities called the Iron Storm Missile Barrage. This is probably my favorite hero ability in the game right now. I can target 6 different places on the map and lay down some devastation. Again, skill is involved. You'll see these Banshees, they get out of the way. And Solaria is actually pretty vulnerable to melee, so if she didn't have that Dreadnought and Gabriel there to back her up, she could be in trouble. So again, it's about using these different types of units together rather than just like, oh, she's the biggest thing on screen, so she's going to do everything.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I'm teleporting my Terminators again to take this cover spot. You'll see they'll capture it just in time to spare themselves some damage.
They've deployed a heavy tank.
There we go. They got it, so they got protected from that blast.
Nice. Good timing too. Are you able to explain the, I guess the bars? Are they health? Are they?
Yeah, so they're health bars. So they follow. Each hash is a certain amount of health, basically. So you can see the elites have more health than individual line units, and some of them will have indications for charges on abilities.
Okay, so for example, I guess Solaria in the top right.
Yeah, she's got that flashing bar on top. That's indicating her heat. As she overheats, she'll start slowing down but doing more damage.
Awesome. We set down some more drop pods here as well.
I did, and I deployed some Devastators with las cannons. They're really good against armored targets, so they took care of that tank for me.
Nice.
You can see my units are healing here with admittedly a temporary visual effect. But this is an effect of having Gabriel on the field. Your elites have secondary impact on your army as a whole, so when you deploy Gabriel, when you drop pods, they come with a brief healing aura. And that just sort of plays to the theme of Gabriel as a leader who inspires and strengthens the army around him.
Good.
The entire invasion force.
The portal 2. Press forward!
Okay, we got a big army waiting for us. There's the portal that I need to destroy. So I've built up a healthy force, so I'm going to drive in there.
Everything.
You can see on the left I've got a dreadnought loaded up in one of my drop pods, so I'm going to deploy him. Here they go. So I'm going to take my melee units and go up towards the top of the screen, try and take out that ranged firepower that's coming there. My dreadnought I'm using to disrupt at the bottom of the screen. And now I'm moving my tactical marines into that cover point to take it for myself.
Oh, perfect. So then they're covered for that long-range fire.
Yeah, exactly. Now Solaria is going to use her Ironstorm missile barrage again. Now this time she's overheated, so the missiles are not only going to do impact damage, but they're going to leave pools of flame that do damage over time.
Wow.
So there's that one Dark Reaper who pays the price for standing in fire.
Yep. He was like, yeah, I made it. No.
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 They're where we want them. Now,
Bugger. So that cover over the right-hand side got destroyed.
Absolutely.
So now we're out in the open.
Okay, so now time to use the super ability, Orbital Bombardment. I've called this the Finger of God laser. What's really great about the Orbital Bombardment in Dawn of War 3 is that you can control it like a squad. So that means there's a skill element of bringing it into the right troops. As it does more damage, it slows down, but it gets bigger. This also adds counterplay, so the opponent can move his troops out of the way, can send cheap units in to slow it down, and then save his more expensive units. Now my depowered Eldar, however, are just going to let themselves be killed.
Definitely. It even like destroyed the ones that were in cover.
It did. It did.
They're finished.
for now, they'll seek vengeance for this.
They can try.
All right, there's a first snippet of gameplay from Dawn of War 3.
Nice.
Focusing on the Space Marines, we got to see some of their heroes, but they're also their army in play, the return of base building. That's planet Acheron, that's a sort of icy volcano planet that's at the center of our story.